Hey, what's up, everybody? Paul's not here. He had some clients come in and had to take care of them, so it's just the Vatos today. Talking about balancing work and life, and we were just talking about before we started this how we're probably the worst people to talk about this because I don't think we really have that situation nailed down right now. I think a
Yeah,
lot of
we are
times
pretty bad at that.
a lot of the times I mean, just look at me. Like, when was it? 2 weeks ago, I got my tonsils out on Monday, and then I was already back in the office on Tuesday. But I think a lot of people can relate because that's the way they are too, right? I mean, especially if you're an owner operator, if you're not working, you're not making money.
Well, if you're not working and you're not trying to find work, you're leaving gaps in your schedule too. So I guess like Daniel said though, I'm sorry guys, I'm on the road again as always. I'm actually almost to the office. I didn't make it. Um, got stuck, but there is no balance for me right now for us. I would say, and it's hard because we're depending on what part of the stage you're in your business, or working for someone. Doesn't You don't have to be a business owner, but it depends on where you're at in life, freedom, and how much freedom you choose to have, I guess, to have that life, work home life balance. Um, I will say that, and Daniel too, is I put myself in a very bad, awkward position to do my very best to attend all of my kids' sports. Um, that means a lot of late nights after sports.
You might want to turn your camera off
I
because you're breaking up a lot.
All right, there you go. I'm going through all the trees right now, but um, how much of that did you catch?
That you try making it to all your kids' events.
Yeah, I do my best to try to make it to all my kids' events, and that might mean putting work on the back burner for a couple hours. But I don't always go home after those events. I go back to work to catch back up. Um, Everybody wants everything done for them right now or yesterday, and uh, we're just a small team, but we try to do a lot of things for everyone. We may overextend ourselves most of the time, but it's not always that busy. Uh, just gotta keep pushing forward and hopefully and hope that you can have that balance eventually.
I seen a post on Facebook, right, that they have. It's a picture that says, you know, in 20 years, the only people that remember that you worked late are your kids. And that can go either way, right? Because I look at it like I hope they remember that to see how hard I worked to give them the life that they had. But also that's where that balance comes in because we do take all the time out in order to make it to most of their events.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, this summer was very hard. Overcommitting, I definitely overcommitted the kiddos to sports, but um, I don't I don't ever want them to not have something going on because it's inconvenient for me. So they want to play ball, we'll let them play ball. They want to play fall ball, I'll let them play fall baseball, football, wrestling, basketball, whatever they want to do right now while they're young. Because when they get a little bit older, it's not going to be the case, and I know it. They got to find what they like now, so that way we can focus on what they love later. And that means a little bit of sacrifice on my behalf for time, but so I don't know. Hopefully the balance comes later, I guess is what I'm saying. Hopefully the balance comes later. It's going to be a little bit hectic right now. It's like having the messy room, right? You know where everything's at. It's a mess, but eventually you're going to find time to clean it up, and then you're going to be able to enjoy it.
Well, Rollin is Rollins says hi and he's going to stay on here as long as he can. But just look at him, like even you last year at CFI convention, right? You brought your family down there. Rollin had
Mhm.
his wife and his grandkids with him this year, and it's like maybe that's part of the deal too, right? Is introducing them to stuff like that because you don't always have to separate everything. You can intermingle the two. You can bring your personal life over to work. I mean, just at the office here, my our kids are here all the time.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right about that. So maybe there is more balance than we think, or maybe we're just justifying it now. I don't I don't know. But
And Rollins says they do remember, but when they start working, they understand. And I kind of feel that, right? Because you look at back in the day, you're like, man, I mean, we grew up with a single mom, right? And she's always working. She had to. And it's like to she was always working, but she, like us, tried to make it to events. So I remember her being at my concerts and stuff and falling asleep. But you know what? She was there.
she was there. I remember that too. I remember sitting next to her while she fell asleep and then just laughing.
Right,
But
but you look at it years later, and that's exactly the thought, right? Like at least she was there, at least she was trying, and that's really all you can do as a parent.
yep, mad respect, mom.
And then you look at, people that have hobbies like Zach blows glass, and he'll work here, he'll come to work, and then right when he's done working, he's like, I'm gonna go blow some glass, right? He's got to get his hobby in there too. And for a while, I mean, he was gearing up for like I don't know what you call it, a show or a festival or something where he was setting up a
Yeah, some
booth trying to
festivals.
sell some stuff. But I mean, he was kind of overextending himself, but I mean, he was doing what he loved to do and you can't really knock him for that.
Yeah, that just goes to show too. Like, you're right. Um, my career, my work supports my hobbies. My hobbies are part of my balance, and part of me being able to maintain sanity. Because everybody needs an outlet. Now that I'm a little bit older and I have kids, my kids are very much part of my hobby, my habits, um, because I no longer play ball. I no longer uh, travel. Like that's not a priority to me. They are my priority. So I do my very best to put their stuff first before any hobbies of mine. But I enjoy their stuff too. So it's really a wash, right? Like I love being there.
Well, it's like even when you were playing ball and working in the field and stuff, you still being the the owner operators that we were and still are, right? It was especially when we were in the field, it was like we got all this stuff to do. So I would work from Monday through Thursday as many hours as I could to make that cushion for Friday because I knew I wasn't going to be there.
Yes, 100%. And be, because you still had deadlines, right? You still had or we still had deadlines, and that's the thing too is yeah, is we do have a benefit of being able to kind of do that and work longer hours when we're in the field, but and it's going to be different when you're owner operator versus employee or versus uh, someone else who is well off and doesn't need the financial backing to enjoy themselves or find that balance. But I still had a commitment to you as my brother to not leave you high and dry, right? Because I know if I put you in a bad spot, then it put you in a bad spot with your family, you wouldn't be able to have that time with them either, or go enjoy your hobbies. So we did do that. We did kind of bust our ass so that way we could enjoy the one day of our hobby or one day of family time that we might have had.
I think that's the one thing that throughout, us having preferred flooring is we've always been pretty set on not just like not just the weekends, but specifically Sundays. We are not gonna work on a Sunday, and that was for like the night jobs because they always wanted us to start on Sundays, and it's like no, I'd rather work 80 hours from Monday to Thursday than to work, especially nights on a weekend.
Yeah, Sunday definitely for my family. And before I had kids, I'd every Sunday I'd play softball all day. I'd be at the ballpark from 9 a.m. until whatever 9 p.m. Or at tournaments. But yep, once my son was born, that is when that stopped. 100%.
Rollins says that the biggest thing that he found that worked for him was to listen to his kids. That's what the children remember, that he cared to hear them. And it's like, I guess I never really asked my kids. I just assumed that they want me to be at everything. But that's because, I know Tanya one time she was at Caitlin's bachelorette party for one day of one of his tournaments, and he still says, "Oh, mom, remember you miss my stuff all the time." She missed like 2 games, 2 games in the past like 5 years.
Yeah, that's so Rollin, you're right, man. You're right, brother. Like the kids are gonna remember the times that you weren't there rather than the times that you were. They're gonna remember everything that you missed rather than the things that you were, because as a parent, man, we're supposed to be there, right? Even if you're not a parent and you're part of a support system, and that's one of the things. Like if you're there, that's awesome. But they remember if it's something important and you didn't make it. So always try to make time for your family, guys, and try to make time for yourself. That's the one thing that balance too. Like time for my family is time for myself because I enjoy it
Right.
to an extent.
And
To
it,
an extent, there's that. My kids do get a little annoying sometimes.
yeah, Elena says being there physically is not the same as being there mentally. You have to clear the mental space for the family as well. And I think just looking at it personally, right? I listen I listened to the audiobook The Miracle Morning, and had a couple other people listen to it, and started going to the gym early in the morning, and that it really does. It really is like a clarity moment for you. Just time for yourself, put my headphones in, work, clear my mind, and you don't realize how big that is until you start doing it.
Yeah, that's like that. The book, The 5 a.m. Club. Man, wish I could get some sleep through the night. I have been burning that midnight oil for a very long time though. Um, I'm just doing it because I have to find that balance too with the kiddos. Um, do you know that we had sports every day of the week except for Wednesday through the whole summer, and then sometimes it was even Wednesday. Man, that really hurt the old time schedule.
But that's the thing, like with us though, it's we constantly take our work with us, right? Because we're in the day where you got a computer in your pocket now. So it's real easy to just get a call, hey, what's going on with this? Let me check on it for you. And then with everything being in the cloud, it just makes it that much easier. Plus, we're constantly taking our computers and stuff with us. Like when we went to the Bahamas in December, and I mean, I think I had a couple bids due, and every morning I would wake up the same time I would wake up here and work. And then once everyone started waking up, that's when I was like, all right, that's my time. Let's go do something as a family. So it is that balance.
So like is that frowned upon? Like because I know that like you said, we could take our work wherever. Is that Can that be considered balance? Right? Like,
Well, Tanya said it makes it harder to separate the two because we're constantly having that ability to do it. But it's the convenience of it that makes it difficult not to. I mean, remember when she came with us, she said, yes, it's frowned upon. But
what?
like when she came with us to Vegas the first time when I went and competed, and she would stay in the room and work, right? It's kind of the same thing, I think, but she's listening to me. She'll probably comment if it's not the same thing.
Well, it's this. Some people have the luxury of putting in PTO and being able to have a separation and separate work from home life. Unfortunately, my for me, my work is my home life. My home life is my work, and everything that I do um, is based around what we do, right? Because not only not only are we in business together as family, but we work together and we're family, and our families are actually very close. So it's hard to go somewhere and not think about family or work or both at the same time. Um,
Or how we can get one of our kids to come work because we always need help.
that too. Um, and we network when we're out. Like we're even though we're not working, we're working. Even though when we're not, we don't have a computer in front of us, or we're not on the phone, or trying to respond to a text message or email, we're all socializing. We're still working. It's just a different kind of work. Social capital. There's balance too. And we talk about family, but what about friends and all that? As you get older, your circle gets smaller, so it's a lot easier to find balance, I guess, when it comes to the friends, because usually the family friends, they'll come over to the house, and it, that part's a no brainer. Or like who stands out um, over the course of years, where you could pick up a conversation where you left off and you didn't see somebody for a year, right? But everybody has families now too, and they're all doing their own thing, and you got to respect that. Can't expect them to just put their family on the back burner to come and say hi to you and reminisce about the old days. But it's always nice to catch up and find that. Introduce your kids to your friends that you grew up with or their kids. Matter of fact, uh, Kelly that we played football with in Algoma, like I've known that dude since I was, I don't know, 11 years old, 10 years old. And we have a kid the same age now, and got them together to play ball together. He played fall ball with us. We played fall ball with him. Um, it was fun. That's nice. That's like full circle type things.
Right. I
Um,
think it's awesome seeing the people that I went to high school with going to the same, their kids are going to the same schools, and a lot of our kids are within a few years of each other, and seeing them at the football games and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. Kyle says that we've learned how to charge enough to be able to create free time instead of slave away to be able to afford the bills. Learn how to run a business instead of just being an installer. That's a huge step towards freedom. Creating balance means going as hard for your family as you do for your business. And then right after that, Tanya says that I've gotten a lot better. So which is true, right? Because when we first started, and we say this all the time, we were working 7 days a week. Like it was a straight up hustle. We were grinding. It was work, 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 because it was that mindset where it was, if I'm not working today, I'm not getting paid tomorrow, right?
yeah. I mean, it still kind of is in the back of your head because that's how we grew up. It can all be gone in the blink of an eye, right? Don't take anything for granted. That thing, this too shall pass. So, but you can't just apply that to work. And Kyle's right. Um, I don't want to say our prices reflect being able to have free time. That's really not what it is. that's just a reflection of the amount of effort we put into getting better at our craft, and the amount of effort and the backing. Like I gotta back that, right? Like we gotta back that with our finances. You know, we don't. There's no insurance for bad installs. You do a bad job, there's nothing that you can pay for on a membership or monthly basis that will pay for dumb installs or bad choices. So yeah, we invest in ourselves, but that's also one thing. Investing in ourselves, that's what gives us more time. If we learn how to be, like you said, more efficient, um, man, that does give us a little bit more time. And go to a cool place like Florida last year. You're right. When I took my family, that was nice. I mean, I don't want to do that again, but that was nice. That's a fun headache, right? Those are the times where
No, vacations with
you
kids
have a little bit
is
of a
more
headache to
work
get
than
it.
it is
But
vacation. It's more work going on vacation with
hey, I'm
kids
going to come in
than
the
it is to
office.
just
I'm
be at
outside.
work. So he's coming inside right now because he just got here. So I don't. Kyle says that we learned how to. We learned our worth and provide value, which is that's what everyone should be working towards, anyways. But I think it's more than that because we're one of the only
Hey,
flooring companies over here. I don't know if we are or not, but we were definitely kind of started it was providing the PTO and everything for the installers because everyone else is just on a 1099 and we kind of seen that value in us wanting to do it. Why wouldn't we want the employees to do it as well?
It ends up giving them more time too. They're investing in themselves and their future. And if they have a family, they can use that PTO to hang out with their families they like.
Rollins says his 49th wedding anniversary is that Tuesday or Thursday?
Come on. Oh,
should he take the day off?
he said that like a straight up Mexican. It's Thursday.
Thursday.
Sorry, guys.
Should he take the day off for his wedding anniversary?
Yes.
It's only the 49th though. You got to wait till the 50th for the day off, I think.
Yeah, you can't make a big deal about this one. You got to make a big deal about the next one, right? I don't know. I think I'm the wrong person to ask for all that.
Tanya says, Rollin, that's a weekend plan. And don't listen to me, apparently.
I think this turned into a episode of us justifying our viewpoints on how we find balance for ourselves, right? Because we're justifying it the way a business owner would instead of the way a family would look at it. So, like, if anybody out there has better information or more information or has had some success in a different approach, I'd love to hear it. Anybody who has a different viewpoint besides owner operator. But if you're married to an owner operator or involved with one, then you don't count because your viewpoint is going to be biased 100%.
Well, that's our fault too, though. But
Yeah,
I think over the course of the years that we've been in business, not only have we tried to get better about things, but they've also tried to get better about it as well. And not getting as angry when you're like, well, I have to work till 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight because I got a bid due that's due tomorrow, and they don't care what excuse you have. Oh, I had to go pick up my kid. That don't matter. It's the bid is due at 12 p.m. and if you're 1 minute late, sometimes it's done.
Yeah, opportunity missed. Or like me, yeah, I only got like an hour. I got to get this one thing out, and then my computer starts messing up, and I got to figure that out. And I'm no computer whiz, so it takes me a little bit of time to get my feet back under me. The other day though, I did last couple of days when I worked late, I did leave my computer at home because if I bring it home, I'll I'll say, oh, you know what? I forgot to send this. I forgot to look at this. Let me go grab my computer. And then I get stuck working at the dining room table. And that's not fair to my kids when I'm there. So I have left it at the shop.
Yeah, Kyle says he think everyone is going to work at their own dynamic. What works for someone may not work for someone else, and that's 100% accurate, right? And that's why you have people that it takes a different mindset to actually run a business and to work for yourself, because if you're not really self-motivated, you're really not gonna end up getting anywhere, because and that's one of the misconceptions, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, you own your own business, you have so much money, you can do whatever you want. But it's like, no, I have my own business. That means I have to work twice as much as everyone else, because there's so many things that can go wrong, and we have to try and prevent those on the front end. But you just don't know. And that's what makes you just keep on grinding and trying to get as much work as possible. And then you end up getting yelled at for scheduling work through a weekend that I haven't told anyone about yet, but
well, now you know.
it was the schedule that they had. So
now you know. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much spent on this because like I'm just open to ideas. You put me in a position to go work all day every day, I will go work all day every day. I will find something to do. I'll find something to read, find something to learn. I would have no balance if it wasn't for my kids. I would have no balance if it wasn't for family saying stop working. Right? Like I would work. Like the other day I went and put I was out in the field for 6 hours and came in here to put 8 hours in the office. We didn't have no sports that day. What do you want me to do? Go spend time with my kids, right?
I think sometimes it's easier when like the kids have practice to be able to just be like, all right, I'm gonna go pick you up, drop you off over here, come back over here, because the school is what, 4 minutes away.
Yeah, 5 minutes, 4 minutes.
So it's just so convenient to be like, all right, I'm gonna drop you off, I'm gonna come back here, I'm gonna do an hour and a half of work, go pick you back up, go home. And then Elena says it's different with everybody. When she grew up, she felt like her dad was there for everything, and that her mom would disagree, but she remembers him being there. That was quality time, right? Because it doesn't matter what you're doing, your parents are there. That should be quality time, I would think, because that's what we do. Like even when they're on the field, that's what we pay for, right? Is here, go entertain me. But her brother says that dad was never home and always putting work first. I would kind of want to ask your brother now how he feels about it now that you're older.
You know, that's one thing that as far as viewpoints is, it might look like I put work first or Daniel puts work first, but realistically, we're putting our family first, right? Because if we stop grinding, if we could lose what we have, and that's what it is. And until we're at a point where we don't have to invest so much of our own time to have something successful or something succeed on its own and self-sustain itself, then that's it. Like, I mean, I wouldn't sit at home all day, every day, but if I didn't have the pressure of providing for my family or making sure that I'm doing the best to help provide for employees and their family and making sure I'm not putting Daniel and his family in a bad spot, like life would be a lot easier, but that's not what I'm about. It's not who I am. I gotta work hard no matter if I'm working for myself or somebody else.
I think if you look at it in terms of like winning the lottery, right? It's like you ask someone, what would you do if you won the lottery? And then people will start being like, buy this, buy that, right? I'm like, man, if I won the lottery, we could expand the business and not have to worry about all the finances that we're doing right now.
You have a building, can rent out, can do a little like
Because I think if you looking back when I started when I was 12, right? I was always like, this is something I don't want to do. I hated flooring, and then you just keep on doing it, and it becomes
second nature.
a mindset to where this is going to be my career, and then eventually it turned into a passion, right? And that's why we go to the conventions and stuff like that, because you got to hang out with other flooring nerds that think the same way you do.
And you know what? That right there is another balance right there. And we don't only go because it's about flooring. We go for the people, and it recharges us whenever we go to a place like that. It 100% does. And it's if somebody told you anything different, then they're going for all the wrong reasons. It just kind of puts the passion back into it, revitalizes us, gives us more ideas and conversations like this podcast about balance. A lot of family conversations go on at places like that, and it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, Tanya says she always tells the kids that no one grinds harder than their dad. I work to get stuff done, and I still make it to games, practices, and rehearsals. And yeah, and the kids get super angry sometimes because if you got to be to practice at 5, I will get you there at 5. You want to be there 15 minutes early? Sorry, it's probably not going to happen, but I'm still getting you there. And I think that's something that they're not going to realize until they get put in that situation where it's like, man, I can't believe, like, even some of the other parents were like, I can't believe how much you guys do, like having 3 kids doing different sports and having to drive people everywhere. It's like, I don't know either, but it's not something that you think about. It's just something that has to get done. So it's like, boom, go over here, pick you up, drop you off, come back to work, pick you up. And it's like,
oh, I gotta go. My son's supposed to be there in 5 minutes.
have you ever heard you love your work more than her? I don't know if Tanya's ever said that I love my work more than I love her. I don't think so. Probably just getting angry because I just was working all the time. But she has gotten a lot better over the years.
I don't know. I've never really like hung out with my tool pouch like that. I love you.
But I mean, the work-life balance, man, it's just
You'll find it.
It's all relative to who you are and what you do. It's making sure that you're happy and your house is happy. And that's really what it comes down to.
Oh,
And it's a constant evolution too, right? Because it went from working 7 days a week, basically 24 hours a day, because it was at the time we were working an hour and a half away when we first started, every day for like 6 months basically. So we would leave in the morning, not get back, and then it's like eat something, go to bed, do it all over again.
Jeremy said it's tougher for the installer still on their knees to be able to take them to practices and games, depending on the time, of course. Yes and no. I mean, if you have set hours and you're still not making it, then that's on you. If you work for a place that all you have to do is communicate and say, hey, this is what we're doing this summer as a family. My daughter, my son is playing sports. I'm pretty sure most places will help you and work with you. But if you wait till last minute and drop bombs on people when there's no, it's just a surprise like anything else, right? But if you plan for it and that's what you're trying to do, most employers will help work around it. I mean, we got people now that coach. We got a guy who's got things to do like twice a week. He's got his own thing that he's got going on, and we get it.
And that's the thing, right? It's like, hey, to have someone come in and be like, can I come in an hour early because I got to leave an hour early today? Or, hey, I got to do this in the middle of the day, but I'll still come in after that and make up that time. I just think that's where the mindset from an owner and an employee is, though, because an employee is just like, hey, I got stuff to do, I'm just leaving. But if you have that different, and if you don't have to be an owner to have the mindset, because we were like this back when we were working for people too.
Mhm.
It's like, I have something to do, but I still know that I have this job to do and it has to be done at this time. So I can fit it in if I do it like this, and then I'll come back. And I mean, Jeremy's seen me do it when we were working at the hospital. It's like, I'm leaving. My son has a tournament on Friday. So I'm there till 8, 9 o'clock every day because I'm making up those hours that I would have worked on Friday, but I'm doing it throughout the week.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't have that luxury. The projects, but that you're on don't allow you to work when someone's not there to babysit you on a commercial project anyway. But I think as long as everything's communicated, I think it can be worked out with enough time. But that's part of the balance, right? And communication is part of the balance. Communication is part of everything that we do. Anything you do moving forward, you got to communicate with your kids, the coach, the mother, like everything. Like,
Yeah, and that's what Tanya says. Work-life balance means treating your family the way you would treat your business, with care and consideration. And I think that was probably one of my faults for a long time, was I was too focused on one instead of the other. Like she said earlier, I would like, you can be there physically but not mentally, right? And you can go and do all these things, but unless your mind is there too, then it really doesn't count. And I think when we started listening to a lot of audiobooks and stuff like that, sometimes you have to look outside of yourself and realize that someone else, even if it's just listening to an audiobook or reading a book and taking some bits of information from different sources, can help you out in the long run. And communication was one of those things. And now we talk about communication all the time. It's like, what is the biggest part of running a business? Communication. What is the biggest part of running a household? Communication. And it's communicating with everyone on how things are going, how they should go. And really, like, since we're talking about work-life balance, right? We got to communicate with how you feel and tell people at home.
dude, I got a magnet board at my house with weights and chores, and that's what I use here at the shop for projects and allocating manpower. Yeah, everybody knows how to use it. It's easy. Even the kids can use it. Kids move their chores around. It's a team effort to make sure that there is balance, and balance is maintained. That's for sure. And your team is your house. Your team is your crew. Your team is your employees, your coworkers. Like, you all around a team. You all work together. If somebody's got something important to do at the end of the week and they have a goal, and I want them to reach that goal. I want them to get out of work. And it's not, as an owner, it's not a money grabber. Have them do more work. It's just, I remember I used to feel bad when I worked for someone and feel guilty having to take a vacation and take 2 days off at the end of a busy work week. So I would still do those extra hours. I left on a Thursday morning. I probably still work 40 hours Monday through Wednesday to make sure that my team wasn't in a bad spot. So that way there was peace when I left and peace when I came back.
Yeah, Jesus says there has to be a lot of communication with family and work. And it's hard, right? Sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself. And I mean, it's hard either way. Like, have I missed bids because things were going on? Yes.
Mhm.
Have I missed kids things because I had too much work going on, also yes. And it sucks either way, but in the long run, another bid will always be there, but missing that performance or something like that, you'll never be able to get that back. So,
And I've been a bad uncle about that lately, man. I got too many nephews and nieces to try to go to all their stuff with my kids playing though. That's the problem.
I think the problem is we all have too many kids that do things, and I said we made one fall ball game for your son. Good enough.
Yep,
That
good.
checks the box. Like, I already made a football game for the nephews.
And the one game I was supposed to make is the day my computer messed up, and I was here till 1 o'clock in the morning trying to fix it. And that was on a Wednesday, and that was our day off. And my son wanted to go. Everybody came into town, and I got stuck.
So right now, my work-life balance thing that I have going on is we're doing the podcast right now, and then when we're done with this, I'm about to turn everything off
Oh,
and then go grab Tanya and Aria, and then we got marching band today.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? I had a little bit more balance, and this is a shout out to Kyle. When we were in that group together, when I was in his mastermind group, we did a year. I think I was with you for a year, every other week for a year, and I did make a lot more. I was more intentional at making time for the family during that whole time, but we had a couple good groups of people that were very family oriented, and it kind of boosts you. So maybe that's another thing is surround yourself with the right people that enjoy family time, and maybe that energy will transfer over.
Yeah. And then Tanya did take some time off of work so she can go drop him off at the school. So I could actually do the podcast today. So thank you, Tanya. Oh, Jesus is in Vegas right now. Hey, go hit another jackpot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think this is about as far as we can go today. We've covered a lot, and like I said, we're probably not the best people to talk to about work-life balance.
We just vented for you guys for a while. That's all we did.
At the same time, I think it was a good conversation because a lot of people in the industry can probably relate and, take something away from this as far as you got to pick and choose what's more important sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not saying that one is like significantly more important or one's significantly less important. It's just, man, if I really want this bid, I'm going to stay here till 9 o'clock tonight to get it. Sometimes that's what has to happen. As long as you can go back the next day and make that game, everything's all good.
Even if you go to a concert and fall asleep watching it, like, that's legit. That's how I watch movies with my kids.
Sleep.
I'll say movie night and they're all excited. They'll put on a movie that I have no interest in watching, and we'll cuddle, and I'll sit there, and 10 minutes in,
Tanya and Aria don't let me do that. Also, you can't watch TV and be on your phone at the same time because Aria don't like that either.
That's good. Good for her. Good for her.
But I think we're all set today, guys. Don't forget to check out everything on social medias, like, subscribe, go on, the podcast channels and listen if you don't catch us live, and share to everyone.
Yeah, and we missed you, Paul. You're way better at moderating a conversation than we are. We'll just rant.
Because you probably have notes and stuff. We just are on here talking.
Feeling dead air, bro.
So thanks everybody for joining us today, and we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one.